Good evening and welcome to TVB News. The government has received more than 100 complaints pertaining to its enhanced supplementary labor scheme, which aims to fill worker vacancies in Hong Kong. Speaking with TVB News, Secretary for Labor and Welfare Chris Sun said preliminary evidence have authenticated 3 such cases, but stressed the imported worker scheme is necessary to address the city's ongoing manpower shortage problem. Hong Kong's latest unemployment rate reached 3.5%, a record high in the past 2.5 years. This as various sectors in the city have raised concerns about whether the government's enhanced supplementary labor scheme should be temporarily halted. Speaking on a TVB program, Secretary for Labor and Welfare Chris Sun noted the primary issue with the labor scheme is that authorities receive more than 100 complaints even without any employers abusing the mechanism. He added that among the 3 authenticated complaints, 2 involved local workers being fired after the arrival of their imported counterparts, and the other a separate issue in the cleaning sector. Sun said authorities would call job seekers as part of the process to check if employers deliberately choose to hire imported laborers as a replacement for local ones. He further noted if such an act was proven, the government will cancel all of the employers' current applications for imported workers as well as for the next 2 years. But Sun stressed that the imported labor scheme should not be halted owing to the overall situation of Hong Kong's manpower shortage problem, noting that the city reached its labor manpower peak in 2018. The labor chief added imported workers make up 5% of the workforce in the catering sector alone, while they constitute 1% of Hong Kong's total figure. Meanwhile, authorities are planning to review the enhanced labor scheme by the end of September and make improvements once both representatives from the employer and employee sides reach an agreement. Today is the MTRs Thank You Day. There's a 50% discount on train fares, and the offer also covers cross-boundary trips running to and from Lo Wu and Lok Ma Chau stations on the East Rail line. Today's fare concession is a direct result of the 5-hour service disruption on the MTR's Chang Kwan O line back in May. Samantha Lee has more.
Members of the public have a great reason to venture out today, as everyone can enjoy half fares while traveling on most of the MTR nights and light rail trains, including rides to and from the border crossings in Lo Wu and Lok Ma Chau. The $2 concession scheme for senior citizens also comes with a $1 discount. This passenger says the discount is a payback to the community, but he believes many people may not be out and take the MTR on Sunday. At Shen Shui Station, many people head north, taking the half-price rides. This man says it will only cost him $13 to take the train to the border checkpoint. While this lady says the special discount provides a reason for her to go to the mainland, where she seldom visits. The railway company offers the half-price fares to the traveling public in compensation for the inconvenience caused during the service suspension on the Chang Kwan O line in May 22nd. A technical failure paralyzed the entire railway line for 5 hours, causing chaos for hundreds of thousands of users. This woman says the inconvenience caused by the MTR cannot simply be compensated by a discount of a few dollars. She suggests free rides on half-price trips for all on a weekday instead. Today's half-fare arrangement does not apply to first-class passengers on the East Rail line, the Airport Express, MTR shuttle buses, or rides paid with credit cards. Samantha Lee, TVB News.
A woman fell to her death after apparently slipping as she cleaned windows at a Chang Kwan O flat this morning. The incident occurred at Kin Cheng House. Police received a report from a man at 6:30 a.m. stating that his mother had fallen from the building while cleaning the kitchen windows. She was found lying unconscious on the podium below and certified dead at Chang Kwan O Hospital. The Water Supplies Department has completed urgent repairs in the Ping Che area after mobilizing around 200 workers through the night. Crews replaced aged bitumen-coated pipes with temporary pipes, which were successfully connected to underground mains. Drinking and flushing water was suspended overnight at 68 villages near Chateau Coq Road, as well as Queens Hill Estate and Sunlight Garden. Supplies were gradually restored in the morning. Some users observed cloudy water initially after resumption, but the Water Supplies Department confirmed This came from trapped air bubbles and pipes and was normal and temporary. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to impose a 30% tariff on imports from the European Union and Mexico starting on August 1st. This after weeks of talks with major U.S. trading partners failed to result in comprehensive trade deals. Canada, Brazil, and Japan will also face hefty tariffs if they are unable to secure agreements. Nasvi Karim with more.
Donald Trump's tariff letters are respectful. This one to Her Excellency Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission. With no apparent hint of irony, he starts off by writing, "What a great honor it is for me to send you this letter." It's all downhill from there as Trump threatens 30% tariffs on imports from the 27 EU countries starting from August 1st, unless an agreement between the two sides can be reached. It was one of 23 letters Trump sent to America's trading partners, with Mexico also facing 30% duties. It marked a return to the aggressive tactics Trump used earlier this year when he sent markets into chaos with the flurry of global tariffs before declaring a 90-day pause during which trade deals can be reached. Despite saying countries were queuing up to talk with the US, only 3 framework agreements have since been agreed, with Britain, China and Vietnam. Von der Leyen said in a statement that the 30% duty would disrupt essential transatlantic supply chains, negatively affecting businesses, consumers and patients on both sides of the Atlantic. She added that the EU would do all it can to safeguard its interest, especially with Trump warning against retaliatory measures while demanding that Europe grant the US complete and open market access. French President Emmanuel Macron led a chorus of leaders demanding the EU not cave in to such one-sided terms, while Germany wants a quick deal to safeguard industries. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum called for calm, saying the letter's aim is to reach a resolution by August 1st, and she is confident such a deal can be secured. The letters were sent a day after Trump threatened 35% tariffs on Canada and 50% levies on Brazil. The U.S. leader said duties on Canada and Mexico are in part because of the drug fentanyl crossing both borders, even though far more of the narcotic passes through the Mexican border than from the north. Trump has been emboldened by the fact that the U.S. economy has been largely resilient during the first half of the year, earning around $100 billion up to June in revenue from his tariff policies. Markets fell on Friday after the Canada announcement, and investors will keep a nervous eye on sentiment when they reopen after the weekend break. Nazri Karim, TVB News.
Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said his country would accept a resumption of nuclear talks with the U.S. with assurances of no more attacks against it. That's according to Iran's state media. The foreign minister added that Iran would not agree to any nuclear deal that would prevent it from enriching uranium. Araghchi was speaking to Tehran-based foreign diplomats, telling them that its cooperation with international inspectors has not stopped it, but it would come under a different form. It will now be guided and managed through the Supreme National Security Council, Iran's highest security body. He said access for International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors to nuclear sites bombed by the U.S. and Israel during last month's 12-day war poses security and safety issues, such as the risk of spreading radioactive materials and exploding leftover munitions. Araghchi stressed talks will be limited to Iran's nuclear program and not defense issues. And Tehran is seeking assurances that Washington would not again resort to military force. Welcome back. No breakthrough during indirect peace talks between Israel and Hamas. And there have been more accusations of deadly attacks at aid distribution sites for Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. U.S. President Trump had sounded upbeat about securing a 60-day truce only days ago. But despite talks between him and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Gaza remains a conflict zone. David Garrett with the latest.
Strikes light up the night sky as the bombs and attacks keep coming. Shots filmed from Israel as it targets Hamas. Health officials say dozens, possibly more than 100, have died over the weekend in Gaza in shootings at aid distribution sites. Abdullah receiving treatment for physical and emotional pain. He says he was shot while getting food in the Rafah area, along with 30 others who he saw gunned down by Israeli soldiers. Relatives of the dead appear to go from corpse to find loved ones. Emergency services say Israel's military have shot at Palestinians getting water. This man backs up the claims. Mohammed says, my brother was shot here in the head. Blood came out and was on my leg. Mohammed is sure the gunfire came from Israeli forces, but unsure whether it was a helicopter, tank or sniper. Chaos and confusion on another dangerous day in Gaza, with multiple reports of other aid sites coming under attack. The Red Cross reported its largest influx of dead in more than a year. They say they saw more than 100 gunshot wounds. The Israeli military said troops fired warning shots towards people behaving suspiciously, adding it was not aware of any casualties. Israel insists it does not target civilians. These Israelis protest in dignified silence, a line of demonstrators with photos of child victims.
I'm ashamed of what's going on, of what Israel has been doing for almost 2 years now. The genocide in Gaza, the butchery of thousands and thousands of innocent civilians, almost 20,000 children.
Some onlookers visibly moved, stopping to look at the posters. Others walking past, appearing not to notice. The group marching with more protesters, those demanding an end to the war, imploring Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to pull out his military and negotiate the release of all remaining Hamas-held hostages.
This war just keeps going on only for political reasons, not for any reason other than that.
Politicians have not found a breakthrough yet. These people say until they do, more young lives will be needlessly lost. David Garrett, TVB News.
The Central Asian country of Kazakhstan is seeing a surge in interest in traditional Chinese medicine, a sign of deepening cross-cultural exchanges between China and Kazakhstan in recent years. Here's Jackie Lin with more.
These Kazakh children are receiving traditional Chinese medical treatment known as Bahui moxibustion. Most of them are suffering from neurological ailments such as cerebral palsy, developmental delays, and impaired motor functions, and receive free Chinese medical consultations. This Astana citizen said the facilities here are well equipped and the treatment has been great for her child. Jointly established by Shanxi province and Kazakhstan under the China-led Belt and Road Initiative, this China-Kazakhstan Traditional Medicine Center is now the only traditional Chinese medicine hospital with official backing in Kazakhstan and has received nearly 40,000 patients over the 5 years since its opening. To meet the growing demand, the clinic relocated to a new 3-story building in March. The center has about 30 staff members, 14 of whom were sent from Shanxi province. Gao Feng, Deputy Chief Physician of Pediatrics from Xi'an Hospital of Traditional Chinese Medicine Encephalopathy, said for neurological conditions, acupuncture helps improve circulation and nerve flow. Massaging can prevent muscle atrophy and ease pain, so such treatment helps shorten recovery time. As a non-profit organization, the center provides acupuncture and other services at a price below cost. It also invites doctors from the 5 Central Asian countries for training and exchanges. This doctor is the only Kazakh who practices traditional Chinese medicine at the hospital. Having studied in Xi'an during the pandemic in 2021 and taken part in the anti-epidemic work in China, the Kazakh has gained fame for having said that he might be a foreigner, but he's not an outsider. He said he hopes to contribute to the development of traditional Chinese medicine in his hometown. Jackie Lin, TVB News.
A driver had a lucky escape after his car flipped over on Ching Ma Bridge this morning, landing near the edge of the structure. The car overturned on the Qingyi-bound carriageway of the bridge. A tow truck was deployed to lift the wrecked vehicle onto a flatbed, as police and Ching Ma Control Area staff managed traffic flow. No other vehicles were involved in the incident, and the driver of the overturned car was not injured. Police are investigating the cause of the accident. Trees are at risk of collapsing during typhoon and rainy seasons. A local university's innovation team has developed a system to monitor this risk by collecting data on tree health. Sakira Ip has more.
By scanning the tree trunk in a circular motion both up and down, a 3D body check report is generated instantly. This is followed by the installation of sensors to facilitate long-term monitoring. The system has now been applied to over 10,000 trees across Hong Kong.
We base on the leaning trend, the sudden change and so that to capture all the health symptoms and share to our users. And based on our previous experience, we have already captured more than 1.4 billion of tree health index, and we transform them into more than 4,000 health alerts. And finally, we successfully prevent more than 1,400 tree failure issues.
Developed by a team from the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, the system recently participated in a business competition organized by the Trade Development Council to expand its network. Collaborations have begun with local government departments, schools, property management companies, and institutions in Japan and Singapore. Over the past year, about 390 reports of tree collapses have been recorded. Tree safety issues have become more urgent during typhoon and rainy seasons. Jim Chi-yong, Chair Professor and a Geography and Environmental Science Advisor at the Education University of Hong Kong, has called for additional measures to support precious trees and prevent collapses. He emphasized that soil quality and volume are essential for root development. Problems associated with planting large trees in areas with inadequate soil conditions have remained unsolved in the city for years. He also suggested that the authorities consolidate tree management to enhance efficiency. Sakarib, TVB News.
The world's fastest high-speed railway, China's newest model, the CR450, begins non-passenger trial runs next month. The train can operate at a top service speed of 400 kilometers per hour. Jacqueline takes a look.
This is the latest generation high-speed train, the CR450 electric multiple unit. Its aerodynamic front design is inspired by an arrowhead, the Chinese calligraphy brush, and the red of the national flag. Compared with the previous generation CR400 on the left, the CR450 has a sharper front profile. Debuted in December 2024, the CR450 boasts a maximum operational speed of 400 km per hour and a design speed of 450 km per hour, making it the world's fastest high-speed train. According to earlier reports from mainland media, the CR450 is expected to be put into commercial operation as soon as 2027 between Chengdu and Chongqing, cutting the travel time between the two places to 50 minutes. The China Academy of Railway Sciences says a one-year non-passenger trial run will begin next month. Zhang Bo, director of the Academy's Institute of Locomotive Equipment, says the train's 4 top-level performance benchmarks have yielded better results than expected. Meanwhile, the National Railway Testing Center in the eastern suburbs of Chaoyang District, Beijing, is open to the public during the World Congress on High-Speed Rail. Visitors can take a test ride on the latest CR400 BFGS, the latest model of the Fuxinghao Intelligent Bullet Train, along the center's high-speed test track. Also on display is a superconducting electric high-speed maglev train. Unveiled in July last year, the train boasts a speed of up to 600 kilometers per hour. Jacqueline, TVB News.
And that's the news. Thanks for watching.